Hello farmers, welcome back to another episode of Focus Africa. When I say Focus Africa, we mean business. And business of the day is to learn. Guess what? Today we are in Murang'a County, guys, just to educate you on dairy goat farming in a farm called Shamba Dairy, owned by Helen. Guys, before I show you what's going on or what we're gonna learn, please remember to follow us at Focus Africa in all our social media platforms. Let's go and learn. Oh, hi.
Hello, good morning.
How are you?
Fine, thank you.
You okay?
Very well.
Okay.
Welcome to Shamba Dairy.
Thank you so much.
Right.
So today I'm so happy to be at your place. By the way, the weather here is so cool. It's so nice. So this is Murang'a.
Yes.
It's my first time reaching Murang'a.
Welcome where we are. We are in Shamba Dairy,
Yeah.
Mukarara Village, Kangema Sub-County, Murang'a County. And basically what we do here, we do dairy goods. But before we go to see our goats, there is the first step that we take.
Yeah.
Number one, you wash your hands. And then before washing your hands, this system is, we are using it from the biogas from the goat's droppings. So what happens here when you open the water, the water triggers, and then this is biogas. When you put on the fire, the water comes out hot. Yes, this is an instant heater. If we touch that, water is actually hot. We can use the soap. Why we do this, basically, as much as we don't want to say yes, most of us, we are the most carriers of the bacteria that goes to the animal. So that's why washing the hands and disinfecting your legs is very important. Here we have the biosecurity system. You just dip your legs here. There is some chemicals here.
What's the function of the chemical?
It's actually to fumigate. This is for fumigation.
Okay.
What is you are carrying, you leave it here. You don't go it with the
So
animals.
which kind of chemical is
We
it?
use null cleanse.
Okay.
Yes. And welcome to our good house. So welcome to our farm. Yes.
So, Madam Mary, can you just briefly tell us who Madam Helen is?
My name is Helen Kamba. Brought up in Kirinyaga County, but I found myself here for some other reasons, life factors. We can call them life factors. What inspired me in doing dairy goods? One, I had a son who had asthma, and the only solution was goat milk, and I could not get the milk. So what happened, I decided to look for a goat so that I can be able to give him the goat milk. And after taking the goat milk, asthma was cleared and cleared completely. So in my thought, I asked myself, how many people are out there looking for the goat milk and they cannot find it? By then I was working with the judiciary, and the son has taken the milk, it has cleared, and then now the thought of how many people are looking for the milk and they can't find it came into my thought. And I thought, why not start a small, maybe even if I want 2 goats, I keep the goats so that I can help those people in need of the milk. But initially when I was a young girl, my dad was a farmer and we would have goats. And I remember one time my dad wanted to sell his goats, and I told him, why don't I buy your goats, but you stay with the goats because I'm working. And I continued like that. So this time I'm working, and the thought of keeping the goats comes in. Unfortunately, at the same time, I lost my job. So what happened, I took the goat that I had, the one that I was using to give my son the milk. I took the goat, take care of it, and I increased the milk. At the same time, somebody came on board and asked me, Helen, can I get goat milk? And he was like, I need 10 liters of goat milk every day. And with this actually encouraged me more. So what I did, I told him, I'm actually producing 1 liter in a day, but he wants 10 liters in every day. So I told him, yes, you can get the milk.
Were you still in your father's house?
No, this time I'm already married and I'm working and I've lost the job. So I'm like, 10 liters in a day, and I have only 1 liter a day. So how do I get these 10 liters? I told him what we can do. We can walk this journey together. I'll be giving you 5 liters every Friday, and then after that we will increase your intake. And that is what happened. I started with the 5 liters every Friday, and within that month I was able to get like 6K, and I was very happy with the 6,000. And I'm not waking up early to go to work. I am not stressing myself with the jam. And I'm like, 6,000 in 1 month with 1 goat. What if I have 10 goats? That now encouraged me, and I started looking for a goat, and that's how I started. So by then I was in Rongai, and I did the whole of 2013. I was selling the goat milk and encouraging people. Actually, my first sale, I went to the neighborhood. I looked for a child that had an issue with the cold and flu. I had like 5 children, and I gave them free milk. And after seeing the result, now I got encouraged, and I'm like, I think this is not just milk, but it's something that is medicine. Yes, it's medicine, at the same time amazing. And then again I went back to the Bible. I read the Proverbs 27:27, and I'm like, what is the Bible telling us about the goat? So I took the ones from the Proverbs 27, I put them into practice, and from there I started. My passion now started growing. Day by day, my passion started growing, and I'm like, one day I said, I would want to have a farm with 500 goats of different species and different breeds. And actually that is my vision. I want to have a farm whereby if you go into that farm, you'll find the Alpines, you'll find the Saanen, you'll find the Boer goats, you'll find the Kalahari.
So are those the types of goats
that are here?
Yeah.
No, here we basically have the dairy goats, and the dairy goats that we have 3 types here. We have the Alpines. The Alpines, you see, they are the brown ones. And Alpines, there are 3 types. We have the Germany Alpine, the British Alpine, and the French Alpine. But here we have only the Germany and the British. Then we have another goat called the Toggenburg, this one. The beautiful one. We call them the Silly Queens from Nairobi. Wow. They are very beautiful and very clean. Those are the Toggenburg. And then we have another goat that is called Saanen. If you go at the far corner, you'll see the Saanen, and some kids there, the white ones. Those are the Saanens. Those are basically the goats that are in this farm. But my vision is bigger, and it grows bigger every day. Out of these 3 types of goats, Alpines are very handy. They may be low in production, but they are handy. For a starter who want to do dairy goats, the best goat to start with is the Alpine. Sometimes you can find we have aflatoxin cases, and most of the goats are affected are the Saanens and the Toggenburg. But the Alpines, they are able to stand whatever the problem is, and they survive. Again, in production, when an Alpine, let's say for example, they have come on heat, they reduce the production only for 3 days. And then they are back to their production. But come on, is Saanen. If it is Saanen and Toggen, once they reduce the production, they increase the production in the next lactating. So you find the Alpine is very good. From there, once you know the type of now the breed that you want, the most important thing is your structure. And we say in production, if you want the increase in production, I say in production again. In production, 50% depends on your feeding. 25% depends on your breed, and the other 25% depends on your management. So if you have a good breed and the feeding is poor, there is no production. If you have very good management and you have no feeding program, then your production is 0. So what happens here, we have our system of feeding. we have what we call the TMR. How do we make our TMR? Our TMR, we have our own grass we've grown called the bracharia, and the bracharia we have two varieties. We have basilic and we have the MG4. Then again in the farm we have the super K vines, we have the cariadria, and we also do our own silage from our own maize. We don't buy maize from outside, because basically what we are advocating here, we are advocating healthy eating. So that means when you buy any fodder from outside, you don't know how it is grown. And this milk, again, it's given to people with health issues. So whatever we are feeding our goat, we must be sure, one, it's 100, even if it's not 100%, it's 99% organic. So we grow our own fodders here with the same droppings they are giving us. Our TMR, again, we have the bracharia, we have the super K, we have cariadria, and we have our silent, all of them from the farm. And then the program we have, in every goat, a goat feeds like 2 kgs. That means in every 10 goats, it's equivalent to 1 cow. So we are able to measure how many goats do we have and how much fodder or the feeds that we want for the following day. So the feeds for the following day is prepared today. And once we do, we measure the 2 kgs per every goat. The day the dry matter, we put it once in a day. To keep, after we put once, we don't put any more. We have measured that the 2 kg is for the whole day. Then in between the day, we have the dairy meal we put, and then the water. Our dairy meal, what we have done, in every 1 liter a goat produces, we feed half kg of dairy meal. So most of our goats here, they are producing an average of 3 liters, although there are others that have more. So in every day, each goat is supposed to feed 1.5 kgs of dairy meal. But that dairy meal we don't give at a go. We give in sections. Like we have the dairy meal for morning, we have dairy meal for midday, and we have dairy meal in the evening.
So does it mean you feed them 3 times a day? For
the dairy meal, yes, because the goat is not like cows. Even if they are ruminants, they are very different. And what happens if you give too much dairy meal? There is a condition we call enterotoxemia. The goats just diarrheas and then it dies. So to avoid that, you give in baits. You don't give too much at a go. That is why we have divided our dairy meal into 3 sections of a day. And then in between again, there is water. For your goat to produce 3 liters, 4 liters a day, then it means there is water. And if your goat does not take water, then it means there is a problem. So we ensure that at 11 they take water, and at 3 we take water. And when you're giving water, you are able to communicate with your animals. You tell your animals, and when you're doing something to them, like now you've seen I've put something in their feeding traps. That way you're able to communicate. And if a goat did not take water at 11 and then does not take water at 3, then that's an indication something is wrong. There are people who leave the waters in the feeding traps. For me, we don't do that. Why? Because when you leave the water there, you will not know which goat has taken or which goat did not take. Again, if that water spills to the feeds, they will not eat that feed. That feed becomes a waste. And again, you see, we are also very keen on the cost of the production. Yes, that's part of the feeding. And once you do that, you are guaranteed that production is guaranteed. The other thing you need to consider is now the housing. How do you do your housing? You can do different housing, depends with where you are. The climatic condition of a place is very important to consider when you're doing your goat house. Like here, you've realized it is a bit cold. If you came in the morning, it was really cold and chilly. So if the goats are not warm enough and it's chilly, then you are not assured of the production. So like you can see our goats, we've done a housing whereby the security is good and also they are warm. You can feel here it's warm. It's actually warmer than the outside. That way you are able to keep your house. Actually, if you are in a very hot place, you should do a housing that has good aeration. And then again, you look at the cubicles, you find that we've done slats. The slat in between, there is a gap. That gap, the droppings comes down. You can see that. So And then if you go back again to the Proverbs 27, I take a goat as a very sacred animal and a very clean animal. And in fact, if this cubicle is dirty, one, you stress the animal. And once you stress the animal, there is no production. So you should ensure that your animals are not stressed. And that is why we've done raised cubicles. Again, we need the droppings, and we need the droppings to be clean because of the biogas. So what have we done? We've cemented the floors. That way we make the work easier for the people cleaning, and also the product that we want, we are guaranteed is a good product.
That's nice. And can you just now take us one by one why you decided this tract like? You see there's a gap, you've used wood instead of metal. Yeah, just say something.
For the metals, the metals are cold.
Okay.
And at the same time, they could be expensive than the wood. But when you're doing the structure, the most important wood is the floor. The floor, you don't do the shortcuts. You either use a timber of 2x1 or 2x2. Why? Because there is some mathematics that is done there so that the droppings can go down. At the same time, the goat will not hurt itself. And then if you see how the slats are done, they are done against the goat. It's not along the goat. Again, it's because of the droppings so that it can fall down. For the gapping and what have you, of course you have to do some mathematics. There is no point because already the outside is all it's all filled up, so there are no gaps outside, so you don't have to do a lot of waste filling these gaps. If now there is no outside wall, then you can fill in these gaps so that you can prevent a lot of cold going to the goat. Yeah, that is why we've not done too much close on the timber which is outside. Again, the outside, these ones are not very important. What is important is the floor. Here you can do any shortcut, you can do the offcut, you don't have to use the real timber, you can do the offcuts. But the floor, you must take care of that.
You talked about TMR. Can you is it a short form of something? So
TMR stands for total mix ratio. Total mix ratio. A total mix ratio is just like when you want to cook food. You take varieties of vegetables. You take managu, you take terere, you take kunde, you take all those vegetables. Why do you take all those vegetables yet they are greens? If you look at the content of each item, it's different in terms of digestibility percentage, in terms of the minerals, in terms of vitamins, all that. So when you're doing your TMR, the total mix ratio, you need to consider the carbohydrates, the vitamins, the proteins, and all the minerals. That is why we call it the total mix ratio. And it comprises of different types, especially goats. They love varieties. And then again, like if you look at the digestibility percentage of coriander, is different from the digestibility percentage of marberry, and so on and so on. That is why now we have that TMR. It's more or less like a balanced diet for the animal.
Okay. And why did you decide to have 3 types of breed of goats instead of just one?
Number one, in cows we have Friesian, we have the Asher, we have the Guernsey, we have all that. If you look at all those animals, each animal, the contact of the milk is different. It's the same thing with the goat. And then again here currently we have the CBCs. We have students coming on in to learn about the goats. If you have just one type of a goat, okay, in dairy goats, there are actually 4 types of dairy goats. There is the Alpines, the Saanen, the Toggen, and now the Agro-Nubian. So if you're dealing with the student and they have learned in class and they want to see what they have learned in class, and if you have only one breed, you have not helped those students. And then again, this type of goats, they do well in different places. So if you tell somebody to have a surname. And this, if you, let's say for example, you have only surnames, and this person want to have goats in Mtwapa. Mtwapa is very hot. Surname, they don't do very well in hot places. They do well in cold places. How will you help that person? And he has not seen the other breeds. So actually, the varieties of good, it's to help each and every person who has interest in dairy goods, and what type of breed it's good for the area that they are coming from. Yes, and like you are, like I've told you before, I have told you my vision is big, is to have all types of goats, because they are there, like the Agro-Nubian, it's both for milk and meat, you see. Like the Boer goats also produces a little milk, but it's more on the meat. When I have all those type of varieties, I'll be able now to enlighten every person who comes in and want to do goats. You're able to tell, this is a goat that does this is a goat that does this, and this is a goat that does this.
Okay. What's the importance of having a dairy goat?
Dairy goat occupies a very small space. And I'll give an example of the housing that we are in. This house is about 35 feet by 42 feet, and it can accommodate 100 goats.
How many do you have?
Here I have about 70 for now, but there was a challenge and I lost some goats. So basically here I have about 70 goats, but they can be more. I can be able to accommodate about 100. And goats are important because, one, they'll give you the milk. Number two, their labor is not as intensive as for cows, because with 10 goats is 1 cow in terms of labor, in terms of feeding, in terms of even production. And with the 10 goats, you can even have more money than even when you have a cow. The other things why goats are important, I find them sacred. To me, as a Helen, I feel and I find them sacred because we go back again to Proverbs 27:27, and in Kikuyu land, most of the occasions, they are graced by a goat. So you can see how important a goat is. Again, there is so much that you can do with the goat. From the milk, you can do cheese. You can do butter. You can do
the ones
ghee.
we buy in the supermarket.
Yes. You can do from goat milk. Goat milk actually has the best cheese. Goat milk has the best butter, and it has the best ghee. The same milk, you can do beauty products. You can do soap, you can do lotion, and you can do cleansers. The same milk, you can do wine. Yes. The whey. You see, when you're doing now the beauty products, there is something we call the kefir. Kefir is very good for people with cancer, with people with HIV. During the process of whey and the process of kefir, you separate the milk components and the water. The water is a whey. That way you can do wine with it. Actually, kefir, in simple terms, we call it goat milk whiskey. It's very good for the gut. It's a gut-friendly food. With the same goat, you can do biogas. You've washed your hands with warm water. We've used the droppings to make the biogas. And then from the biogas, we have the bioslurry, which we do now the fertilizer and the foliar. The same goat, again, I think there is nothing you cannot do with the goat. The same goat, again, from the skin, you get the belts, the handbags, and even some clothes. And then from the same goat, you eat the meat, you leave the fat. The fat, you make cooking fat from it. So you see, you have everything in the goat.
Okay. So do you only have this section? Like, how many sections do you have in your farm?
Here we have 3 sections. One, when it comes to milk, goat milk is very sensitive. And if you're not careful, your milk will smell. And the reason why the milk smell, one, if your housing is not done well, and also if you combine the milkers and the bags. So we have a section where we have the bags that we use to serve the goats. We also have another section for the kids, whereby when our goats gives birth, we don't keep them together with the kids, we separate them from the kids. So we have a section of the kids and we have the section of the bag. And again, I say this, and I strongly say this, and I keep on telling farmers. There are 3 factors you consider when you're doing the goats. If you do your housing well, and then you do your feeds consistent, that is 24/7, consistent in feeds, and then you deworm your animals, you have no worry of the veterinary services, because you do your housing well, you keep off some of the diseases, especially the pneumonia, CCP, and all that. And then again, the mastitis comes because of hygiene. So if you do your housing very well, you set yourself free from diseases, and you're able to manage the diseases. And then consistency in feeds, 24/7 consistency in feedings. We do away the problem of enterotoxemia. And then again, when you deworm, deworming is very important, because again, the worms can kill your animals.
Okay. Can you just tell me the feeding program and how the goats meet?
Okay. One, we have 3 types of feeding programs. We have the program for the mothers, the program for the kids, and the program for the bucks. For the mothers, they are producing. So that means you have to give them a lot of proteins. Okay. And their feeds, we have now the bracharia. Bracharia has about 17 to 19% of crude protein. We have the Super K vines, which has about 23 to 25% of crude protein. We also have the Cariadria, the same. So for the mothers, we make sure that there is a lot of protein because of production. For the kids, these are actually, they are taking the milk. So from day 1 to the 3rd month, we feed them with the milk. Then from the 3rd month, we start introducing the dry matter. And we start with, most likely, we do the maybe bomarods or the Kikuyu grass. It's the best for weaning the kids. For the bucks, also they also need the minerals, because they're also producing, you know that. So them, they have their feeds, the dry matter. We only remove the Super K and the Cariadria, but the bracharia is there, and also the dairy meal is there. But their dairy meal is not as much as for the milkers. And then when we are serving the goats, that is the reproduction. Our reproduction, we do it in such a way that we are able to produce more kids within the same time. So what I do something we call synchronization. Synchronization, you can do it either natural synchronization or through the hormones. But here I do the natural way. What I do, because the back is not here. Yeah. If you go and you take the back, you bring it here. The females, they detect there is a visitor because of the smell. Once it comes here, after that they get excited, and you find like 5 goats, 10 goats, they come on heat at the same time, and I'm able to serve that. So I'm able to have a program of the kids coming more at the same time, and also again, because of production of milk, you find there is more milk at the same time. That is what I do, synchronization.
Okay, so how many bags do you have?
Initially I had 3. I have removed 1, and each goat, you have to know the kids for each bag because of inbreeding. So if these kids, let's say like this section, all the females here, their father is Kenya. Let's say that their father is there is Kenya or Kimani or Billy. Kimani should not mate these females. You should bring a different bag. So every bag has its own kids, but you can also do the crosses. You can cross these kids with the other bag, but you have to ensure that the kids for a certain bag are not mated by the same bag.
Okay.
Yeah.
And there's something you talked about. You talked about the kids. Does it mean where the kids don't, like, they don't breastfeed directly from the mothers?
They don't suck, because there is a goat that has given 1 kid, there is a goat has given twins, there is a goat that has given triplets. The one that has 1 kid has too much milk, and the kid is not able to finish. What happens? If it's not finished, then it means chances of mastitis is very high. And then there is a goat that has 3 kids, and the goat has 2 teats. Where will the third kid breastfeed from? So for that, what we do, we keep them together, we milk and feed them. Yeah, from day 1 up to maybe 1 week, we feed with a bottle feeder, and then again, then from there we introduce containers, and they take with containers. Yeah.
And you said you have roughly 3 bags.
Yes.
With a lot of like milking goats. So does it mean like you can even have 1 bag to serve all of them?
Yes, as long as you are not serving them at a go. You can serve them in baits. Like let's say you have one bag and you have 50 goats. You can decide this month we are serving 5, next month we are serving 10, next month we are serving, and it's okay. But for the case of inbreeding, you must have like 3. Actually, the best bags, there are 4. So that if this bag is for the mothers, it's for the mothers only. If the second generation is for the, let's say, bag B, the second generation is for bag B, the third generation is for bag C, and the fourth generation is for bag D. That way you will not bring in the inbreeding. But once you have all the 4 bags, they have offspring, then the best thing you can do is remove all the bags and bring another one new bag, which can serve all the mothers and the second, the third, and fourth generation. I don't know whether you understand that. A bag, if a bag is fed very well, it can even serve 5 goats in one day. Yes, if you have a good bag and you're feeding it well, it can serve even 10. And sometimes we had such a scenario here. A bag is so wild, it becomes crazy. It wanders and won't even to see human beings. It's crazy. So for it to bring it down, we had to give it like 10 goats within 2 days. And then again now we start now the processing of again feeding it very well.
How many times do you bring a vet to your goats?
I only call a vet when I have a serious issue, because I said, if you do your housing well, you feed your animal well, and you deworm, you have no worry about the veterinary. So I only get complicated cases, like sometimes the bath is complicated, especially when you have triplets. Sometimes they entangle themselves. So giving birth becomes a problem. So that way now you can, the giving birth becomes complicated. Now that time you can call a vet. But if you're feeding, especially the salt, the mineral salt, if your goats are eating mineral salt very well, and you're feeding very well with the protein, especially the last 1 month to give birth, you're supposed to do something we call steaming up. Steaming up is where you add the minerals, you add the proteins like that. Once you do that, then the kidding doesn't become a problem again. Kidding is when you're giving birth. It doesn't become a problem. And you don't need a vet.
Do you have pure breeds or crossed breeds?
Apart from now the pure breeds of the likes of the Alpine, Saanen, and Toggenburg, we also have the crosses. We cross Alpine and Saanen, we cross Saanen and Toggen, we have all those crosses. Come, I show you. And one of the crosses we have, that's a cross of Saanen and Alpine. You can even see the colors there. You can see the colors. We have part of white and brownish. That's a cross of Saanen and Alpine, and it's very good in production. She's called Monica. Yes, Monica. She's called Monica. And the purpose of crossbreeding, one is the adaptability and production. That is why we do the crosses, because you find Saanen, it's very good in production, and Alpine is also very good in adaptability. So once you have the two combination, then you are sure that there is production and there is also adaptability in one goat.
And what are the challenges which you normally face?
The biggest challenge, the biggest of all, is the climate change, because once there is too much rain, we have challenges of drying our feeds, and here we normally give dry matter. When the feeds are green and wet, there comes with the challenges. So, and then sometimes there is too much, the dry season is too long, so you find that the grass is not shooting, or it's not enough in the farm, and now again you're forced to buy the feeds from outside. And once you buy now the feeds from outside, again you don't know how these feeds are grown, and now again sometimes they kill our goats. And that has been the biggest challenge, whereby you buy feeds from outside, you bring into the farm, and then you kill the animals. And it's a big loss. You can imagine losing like 4 animals worth 30,000.
That's a great loss.
Yeah, that's a great loss.
Another.
So what we are doing now is that we want to see whether we can have good supply of water, that's such that when there is that long dry season, you can be able to water the plants. In that way, maybe you reduce the risk of the buying feeds from outside.
Also, is that the only challenge that you have?
The other challenges, sometimes the market of the milk, sometimes with the current situation in the country, you find that the politics of the day, that is the day you are going to the market, you find that there is no way to go to the market and you are forced now to look for an alternative for the produce.
Okay. Are your goats purely for sale or for milk?
They are both for milk production and breeding. When I talk of breeding, we breed and sell. Like now, everyone is going for a goat, and we don't have much to sell. So we have to wait until they give birth and then maturity, and then we sell. Then the other thing is we sell milk also, not for our own consumption. We also sell. Like now we have a challenge because we are not producing enough. We sell the milk to the customers. They are we call them the consumers. We have our customers who are consumers, and we have another customer who buys in bulk, where they go and now process and pack. Yeah.
On the same note, do many people buy it for, let's say, do they drink it or they buy it for medicine purposes?
Most people, unless there is a lot of campaign to be done or a lot of evangelism to be done about goat milk and the benefit, because it has many benefits. Many people out there still don't know the benefit of goat milk. And most of the customers who are buying, they are buying it for the purpose of medicinal value, because most of the customers are the customers with the health issues. Those are the main customers. And then now again those who pack.
Okay.
Yeah.
In your structure, I can see the cubes contain 2 goats. Can you just explain?
Well, our structures, we've done a structure called back to back. Back to back, these goats are looking at this side, this one at this side, the other one are looking at the other side, the other ones are looking at that side. Why is because we are advocate of maximum utilization of a space for maximum production. Because there is somebody who is in town and doesn't have space, but he has a small space which can have a cubicle of like 4 by 5. 4 by 5 you can have a goat. That's why we've done this type of a structure to show people or to educate people that any small space can be utilized by keeping a goat. Again, our goats, we've kept them two because one, we milk with a machine, and the machine comes with 4 teeth. That means 4 teeth, it means it's 2 goats. That means you can milk 2 goats at the same time. And then again, if you look at the dimensions, like here we've done 12 feet. A cubicle of 8 goats is about 12 feet by 14 feet. And that's a very small house. And again, in the small, you can see it has a lot of space. You can also have like 3 goats in the same. But because of the milking system, we prefer to keep 2.
Okay. So how many times do you milk goats?
We milk twice a day. We milk 4 in the morning and 4 in the evening.
Approximately how much milk do they produce?
On good days, we produce about 65 liters a day. On bad days, we produce about 20. And this is when now most of the goats are in-kid. In-kid means they are pregnant.
Oh.
Yes.
So which breed is likely to produce more milk?
Saanen produce more milk, and also the crosses. The crosses also produce a good average of milk. But also all goats are capable of producing milk, because I had an incident where an Alpine gave me 5 liters, a Saanen gave me 5 liters. What matters is your feeding program.
Okay.
Yeah.
And now I feel I've learned something from here.
Yes.
And you talked about the other members
who
you've placed in different places.
Yes.
Can we just go? I just want to see them.
So we can start where the backs are. You can follow me.
Okay.
Yeah. Wow, this is where our backs are. You can see we have empty cages. These empty cages are for the kids. Once they grow up, they become winners, they come here. And then we also have the bucks. Here we have Mr. Mzungu. Mr. Mzungu is a sanen. Unaona vile anakufanya. Mr. Mzungu is a sanen. He's about 4 years old. We have Tom. This is Tom. Tom is Germany Alpine. And I don't know whether you've realized the smell here.
Yeah.
Here there is a smell of goat, but the other side there is no smell. One is because of the backs. The back, in between the horns, there is a hormone that smells. The hormone is one that smells, but unfortunately the smell comes out now with the urine. So most of the backs, they have that smell. But the ones that don't have horns, their smell is not as much as those that have the horns. So you can imagine if that smell, you can feel it. If it is in the milk, how would you feel? Do you think you can take that milk?
No.
You can't take the milk. The other one here, this is not for breeding. This one I've kept here for the meat. And the last cubicle was for Billy. Billy has gone for a visit somewhere, but he'll be coming soon. Yes, Billy was a British Alpine. Now the other empty cubicles, once the kids now mature, they'll come here as winners. Now the next from here now, we'll go to where the kids are.
Okay.
So this is now block B. Block B is where we have our babies. Karibu. Babies. You can see all these have been born at the same season. Here you can see with their two. What we do, most of them are born at the same time, but you cannot keep a male and a female because most likely they are brothers. Because these goats, they mature within the 5th month. The 5th month, it can come on heat. So you have to be very careful when you are grouping them. You don't put a male and a female. So here, if the twins were, and the way they are is the way they were born. You find that they are those that came in two, we group them. If they are females, we put them together. If it's a male and a female, we separate the male and put with another male and then bring another female. Like here you can see these are a white and a black one. That means the white one, the brother is here, and this one, the other brother is here, but then we separate them. Yes, here they are only feeding on milk, but these ones are big. You can see we have already introduced the dry matter. Now these ones are already now weaning. These ones are going to now the 4th month, but all the others were born the same time. They are between the age of 2 weeks and 1 month. And then from here now we are going to where the biogas is, so that you can see the system of the biogas. Karibuni! Wow, this is like a drainage system, which has taken all the dirty, goes to a certain hole, and later on we remove it as manure. And then you can see this is grass we have harvested for feeding the animals. We normally don't feed green grass. We like it when it's withered or dry. And then down here I have my small kitchen garden, which I'm also using the droppings. You can see this manure from the compost from the goat droppings. I have a lot of spring onions. If you want, you can carry some.
Yeah.
And this is Rick. It's good for samosas. And this is where our biogas is. I have 2 digesters. This is one, and the other one is here. So what we've done in the system for the goat biogas is different from the cows with just one thing. This chamber, this one is called the soaking chamber. What you do, you soak the droppings here. You can see we are soaking. Once you soak the droppings, you soak them for 2 to 3 days, and then they become soft. Once they are soft, this is the mixing chamber. You put now a ratio of like the soaked droppings. You put them here and water. You mix. You make a very good pottage. Once you do the pottage, you pull this pipe. You release that pottage. It comes to the digester. The digester is downwards, and then here is the center of the digester. This is where the gas comes from now. In the digester, we get 2 items. We get the gas. It goes up with a pipe to the kitchen and to the main house. And then the rest is the bioslurry. Now, this is the extension chamber. The extension chamber, the purpose is one, to put pressure for the gas to go up, and also to remove the bioslurry. And this is now the bioslurry. You can see this is the bioslurry. It comes out after a while. It comes out, it goes. We've now directed it to the grass direct, or sometimes you can just put it into the pit. Like now it's here, it's full. This one now will get out as manure. This pit, there's a pit here of 4 by 4 feet. Ukiingia hapo huwezi toka. So this one now, this is another digester, and the mixing we do it here. It comes here in the extension chamber, and then it goes to the farm direct, and that is natural fertilizer direct.
Wow.
From here now, we can go to the production room where we store our milk. Wow, what have you learned so far?
I've learned a lot of things. In fact, I'm going to start my own small farm. Let me put it that way, where at least the rosemary you've shown us, the lemon leaf.
Yes.
I'm going to try that. I have a small balcony around my area.
Yeah, make use of that balcony. You can have your own vegetables. You don't need to buy.
By the way, I used to buy everything.
No, you don't have to buy as long as you have space.
Okay.
Yeah, and this is our production room. Because of the milk, we remove the shoes. Wow. This is our small production room. This is where we bring our milk. This is a chiller. This is like a bank. This is where we bank our milk. The morning we put it here, evening we put it here until the capacity is 120. Then after that, there are days that we offload and then we freeze. This is a freezer. There are customers who want the milk to be frozen. That is why we have the freezer. There are those who don't want it frozen. That is why we have this machine. And then again, when you put your milk in the fridge, 3 days it starts going bad. Why? Because the bacteria in the milk, what is in the fridge, it gets used to the environment and then it starts production. But here you realize that you'll hear some noise from the machine. What happens here, this machine, immediately the temperature goes up, it has an agitator which stirs the milk. By stirring, it disturbs the activity of the bacteria. That means the milk cannot go bad when it's in this machine, unlike when it's in the fridge. But for the freezing we normally do because there are customers who are very far away, and for that milk to reach when it is still in good state, it's good to go when it's frozen, and that is why we have this machine. This one is for the yogurt. It is called the incubator. This is one that incubates the yogurt, and then the other one is a pasteurizer. And that is all what we do in this small production room.
But I've not seen the yogurts.
Today we don't have yogurt, but maybe if you come at a later date, you'll be able to see the yogurt.
Okay.
For today, we only have the fresh milk. Yes.
Okay, Madam Helen.
Yes.
By wrapping up the session, thank you so much. From your farm, I've learned a lot.
Yes.
By the way, we normally, mostly we've covered for cows, but goats, no, I think you're the first woman we've interacted with as a farmer.
Yes.
And I've just liked what I've seen. And I think through the session, many people will have to change their mind and they'll start to maybe venture into the goat farming, just the same way you are doing. And you have a nice place.
Thank you.
And thank you so much for the warm welcoming and you being willing to give us the information that we were determined to get. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Berin, for the time we've done and the time we've shared together.
Yeah.
I appreciate hosting you. And as our custom in this farm, any visitor who comes in must have a taste of the goat milk.
Wow.
So from here, we will have a time to share a cup of
Cameraman,
tea.
zoom! We are going to drink tea. In fact, it will be my first time to take goat milk.
Thank you. So we can go. No, before that, we need to go with the milk. ASAP. And this is, we are drawing our goat milk. And that's enough for the day. So we can go.
A few moments later.
Welcome to chai. It's ready. This is a beautiful tea from goat milk. You can see. You can even smell the taste of it. No, if you want to take good tea, it should have a smell. You don't know? Have you seen Wazungus taking tea without smelling? They smell first. You want sugar? And have some sugar there. There is blood there. Whoever wants to take blood.